All right, let's see where we're at here. Really? That video? Does that? Okay, let's do it. Here's your review of September 2nd's Monday Night Raw. First off, I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel. Thank you, subscribers, channel members, Patreon subscribers. Thank you all. The reason I haven't been doing these Raw reviews is simply the time it takes to produce them. And the fact that the shows have been relatively lackluster has led me to only cover the pay-per-views. So that being said, based on the performance of the video I did almost a month ago, I said, you know what, let's do one, see how it goes. Kind of a new format here, but let's go.
I don't want to come.
This is my brutality!
Mommy opens the night up, enters to her music, huge pop from the Denver crowd, makes her way to the ring, starts cutting her promo, interrupted by Dominic, comes down, and he has their little back and forth, and he says, you know, Liv's beat you before, she'll do it again, and after I win the Intercontinental title, we'll both have gold. Rhea calls him stupid in Spanish, and, well, she gets Pearl Harbored. Gets her foot caught in the ropes in what could have been a scary moment. You know, hopefully she didn't actually injure herself. Later on, she was on crutches. I'm pretty sure it's all kayfabe. But, you know, a little moment where Liv's kind of taking liberties while she's in the ropes. And Damian Priest comes down, makes the save, chases the heels away, and the battle between the Terror Twins and the Judgment Day rolls along, which will set up later tonight for a tag match in the main.
I don't want to come.
Next up, American Maid versus the Alpha Academy. What do you want me to say about this match? The only good thing about it was freaking Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile. I mean, Ivy Nile is underrated. And she finishes this match off. Dragon Sleeper on Maxine Dupree. Puts her down after Maxine Dupree kicked Chad Gable in the head. Just another awesome example of how when you have a female that weighs 110 pounds squaring off against any male, no matter how big he is, the male will always take the lump, and the female will never face any sort of accountability or retribution for that. You know, 99.9% of the time. And it's ridiculous. It's indie-rific, and it's stupid. And you know what else?
Heck up! Get up! That ain't gonna work for me, brother!
Programming note, as commentator Joe Tessitore, who just stepped in to replace Pat McAfee, he is out and back working with ESPN during college football season. Tessitore notes that Big Bronson Reed has been taken out of his scheduled match against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser in the Intercontinental Contenders Triple Threat Tournament due to illness. I wonder what illness that could be. Now on to another match that nobody cares about. Shayna Baszler pins diminutive Zelina Vega, who I don't understand how Zelina Vega has ever pinned anyone other than maybe somebody like Roxanne Perez, who weighs about 30 pounds, because she is so small. Pure Fusion Collective, the worst stable name in professional wrestling, puts the boots to her until Lyra Valkyria, the nepotism hire, comes running in and beats up a few of the lesbians, and then they get the best of her, and then they hit a move on Zelina, and Sonya Deville says this.
There's not a man in this audience that can take us home.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
I don't want to come.
CM Punk comes down to the ring next to cut a promo, but he gets attacked by Drew McIntyre. Drew beats the hell out of Punk. He swept his legs on the table, got him in the ring, beat him down, took the bracelet, then broke the most prestigious prize in sports entertainment all over the ring. The beads were everywhere, and millions of people across the land wept as the bracelet broke. And I really don't have anything much for this. They shouldn't have put Punk over at Bash in Berlin. Let's face it. There's no world where CM Punk should go over on Drew McIntyre. None. It's laughable at best. Much like two grown men fighting over a trinket that costs about 75 cents. I don't want to hear anything from the AEW weirdos about the bracelet, though, because your company can't even book a storyline that has any coherence that doesn't involve Tony Storm. Next up, another qualifying match for the Intercontinental Championship, Fatal 4-Way. And we have Ilya Dragunov, Dragon Lee, and Dominic Mysterio. And Ilya Dragunov wins, and I don't care. Ilya Dragunov, I like Dom because Dom has nuclear heat as a heel. I don't give a shit about Dragon Lee, and Ilya Dragunov is just another 210-pound guy who doesn't belong in the ring with anybody bigger than him.
That is correct.
Women's Tag Team Title #1 Contenders match next. Damage Control, Io Sky, Kairi Sane versus Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, the Unholy Union, former champions. And this match was absolutely dreadful to watch. Of course, we have the Asian girls, the Damage Control, flipping around, doing all their shit. Fire and Dawn have to stand around and wait for them because you got to have 800 backflips and all that kind of bullshit so these weirdos can get off on this Joshi type shit. I don't know, fucking weebs. Anyway, dumbass spot of the match. Kairi Sane goes up to the outside. Alba pulls Bianca in, and Kairi eats shit and smashes her face on the fucking table. What an awesome spot that was. Good booking. Good spot calling there, folks. Again, this one goes out to all those weirdos out there who comment and say all I do is pick on AEW. If you haven't noticed, I have been picking this show apart, and this spot was absolute trash. It got somebody hopefully not injured. They're just hurt because this shit is useless. You see, it doesn't do any good. After a little more gaga on the outside, Jade getting involved, of course. I think it's Io Sky because Sane was down the outside. Io Sky takes the gory special and flatliner combo from Fire and Dawn, and they get the pinfall, and they'll go on next week to job out to Jade and Bianca because, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Jade and Bianca backstage being asked about next week and a rematch with Fire and Dawn and the fact that they thought they were cheated out of the titles. And, of course, these two are infallible. They're booked like they're freaking John Cena. Well, Bianca is basically a female John Cena. And their reaction when the interviewer, I can't remember her name, she's generic, says, oh, will you potentially retain your titles next week? Listen to the way this promo ends and tell me this isn't pure fucking cringe.
We're gonna keep working hard, and we're gonna keep these titles next week, okay? Okay.
See you in Calgary.
Black Girl Magic!
Next up, World Heavyweight Champion Gunther comes down to the ring to cut a promo, and he's interrupted by homeless crackhead Sami Zayn, who for some reason owns a victory over Gunther for his Intercontinental title that ended his 666-day reign. So they let him pin Gunther and then Braun Strowman before they let Braun Strowman go over on him. And now the crackhead is back and wants another match. Jesus Christ. I don't care. Fuck Sami Zayn. Strowman versus Kaiser versus Sheamus. Strowman gets the pin. The biggest jobber in wrestling goes over, and he'll move on next week to job out to whoever they're going to put over to face Braun Breaker at the next pay-per-view. Main event time, and I'm not even going to cover any of the match because Damian Priest and Jey Uso with Mommy go over on the Judgment Day to the shock and surprise of absolutely no one because Finn Balor and JD McDonough are nothing but jobbers now. If I have to sum up this show with one word, it is mediocre. I'm sure it'll still draw ratings. I'm sure people still enjoyed it. But overall, this was a mediocre show. Minimal anything of any substance to sink your teeth into. Slowly advancing angles. More garbage tier 50-50 corporate style booking. and it's just getting cumbersome, folks. It's cumbersome, I'm not going to lie. So the entire show, what did it do?
Doesn't work for me, brother.
We'll leave it with this, folks. Val Venus says both of these guys would have been fighting over who would carry my bags in the Attitude Era. Praised be based Val Venus. That's the review, guys. What do you think? Did I miss the mark, or was Raw just subpar and lackluster this week? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe if you're inclined. Join as a channel member, $2.99, $4.99, or on Patreon for $2 a month. Join us later for Tuesday Night Terror Vision. We'll be reviewing Long Legs. Tomorrow night, Andy Sedaris, final entry in the Lethal Ladies series. Lethal Ladies return to Savage Beach. That's it. I'm Etep from Wrestling with Horror. Remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away.